Hey guys, what's better, being born black or gay?
Oh, geez, do I
What?
want to know this?
Black, because that way you don't have to tell your parents.
Oh,
Oh,
oh
that's not
man.
racist.
Hey, man. Welcome to the Big Bad Broadcast, dude.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Big Bad Broadcast. We're here everywhere you can find your podcast, and we got a great show for you today. We got Mike Grief.
Hey, what's happening, guys? You like that? I'm glad I got to
That
snort
was
some.
pretty
That
short.
was just me snorting a little COVID for you.
And we got the guy who does everything, the highest paid guy on the show, Greg Mitchell.
What's up, everybody? Flashing the gang signs you can't see.
Yeah. I'll hit you with a rainbow. All right.
A rainbow flag sign. I did flag sign.
So we've had a very eventful week. Mike's got COVID.
Yeah,
Yay.
man. It's such a beautiful thing.
I'm sorry. I didn't.
You know what? It's
vaccinated 150 times, but he still got COVID, like we all did.
I
Well,
thought
you know
COVID
what?
would be afraid of
But-
Mike.
But he's alive because he was vaccinated, which is important.
And you know what? I lost like 5 pounds. I fit into my old vest again. So I'm excited.
Nice.
You got that going for you, which is nice.
You wouldn't think me as a fashionista, but I've got all these great old vests that I couldn't fit in for a
A
while.
COVID diet. Nice.
Yeah.
Really
You
sweet.
and Jackie Martling.
Oh, that's
At a
funny.
comedy
Not-
club once, and Jackie wore that little black vest, and he came out to do the show, and he was all pumped up. He goes, "I got my lucky vest on." And he came walking out, and this guy goes, "Hey, dude, what year did that vest button last?"
Oh man. So what's
We have my daughter, the very famous playwright, with us sitting here today.
Hello.
Hey, Lindsey. Her name is Lindsey Ferrentino, in case people want
That's
to know.
it.
It is.
The incredibly talented writer and what else you do? Direct? You do it all. You're like
Just write and direct. That's it.
Right.
Just those two things.
very cool.
That's just it.
Well, John keeps telling me. I mean, like I tried to watch the documentary, the
Queen of Versailles.
Queen of Versailles, and so I've started watching it like 10 times, but it's like I've gotten a little further every time. But I just hate the people so much. But I know that you've done a show. I know, and I heard that the show really. If I could have the patience to watch the whole thing, I realize it would be an amazing story because it wouldn't be worth working on if it wasn't.
You know, I dated the Queen of Greenwich Village once. Is that the same thing? Thank you. All right.
There goes the bell.
The bell already. Nice.
Oh, Lindsay, tell us what your projects are right now that you're working on and what's happening.
Well, I'm on strike because of the Writers Guild strike, so no film and TV projects at the moment. But lots of theater going on still. I'm doing a musical called The Queen of Versailles.
Yay.
Will open in New York. Well, open in Boston first next summer, and then New York sometime after that, which is based on the Lauren Greenfield film The Queen of Versailles, and will star Kristen Chenoweth
Wow.
in
Love her.
Boston and presumably wherever it goes after that.
That's
And-
fantastic.
Yeah, and new music by Stephen Schwartz and directed by Tony winner Michael Arden, who just won the Tony Award this year for Parade.
And who plays the husband?
Can't say.
Oh, you can't say. Okay.
Listen, guys, I wasn't going to announce it until now, but
Now don't
I
say.
didn't know that. I didn't
no,
know
that is so cool, man. You know what? We're going to have to make a show trip to New York, all of us to
Yeah,
go
definitely.
see it when it opens in New York. Well, we could go to Boston, but why would go to Broadway and go to New
Get
York?
some chowder. We get some chowder. in
Some chowder.
Boston. We get some chowder.
I was lucky enough to see the first act with the music and everything at like an industry reading, I guess.
Yeah,
it
isn't
was.
that cool? Nepotism. That's great. I get to see it first.
Be nice in the front row.
It was amazing. It was amazing. We were in the front row, like 2 feet away from these people. And then you had to do the show after we saw it again for the Seagulls, right?
We did, yeah. It was a very bizarre experience to perform a show about Jackie and David Siegel for Jackie and David Siegel in a private audience.
Wait. You actually performed it, and John, you hung out with them as they watched this. And
No.
It was just a closed
After
showing.
they did the whole show once, we all had to leave so the seagulls could come in, and they had to do it all again.
Really?
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was really, really interesting experience to watch. I'm still sort of processing it to watch Kristen Chenoweth playing and dressed as Jackie Siegel performing for Jackie Siegel herself.
Oh my
It was
gosh.
very, very meta.
But
What
that's
was
quite a
what was the
compliment.
reception? What was the reception? What was Jackie Siegel's reception of Kristen playing?
Yeah, oh, she loves Kristen, and Kristen is absolutely perfect for the role of Jackie, and any role really, but she's particularly well suited for Jackie. She's sort of a miniature version of Jackie. Jackie's
Right.
quite tall and Kristen's quite tiny, but
You,
other than their height difference, I think.
you
Well,
know
very-
what's strange about Kristen Chenoweth? My first exposure to her wasn't as a Broadway actress and singer. My first exposure to her was like on The West Wing. So I just saw her as an actress.
Or yeah,
Oh,
Yeah,
I thought-
and then she was on Pushing Daisies.
yeah,
And then
absolutely.
all of a sudden, Wicked came out, and I'm like, oh, she can sing too.
Yeah, and she sings opera too. She's an
I know.
incredible singer. Yeah, she's amazing.
She's an amazing performer
Amazing comedian.
and just got great comic timing. But when she comes out on stage, she just polarizes the whole audience, right? I mean,
Well-
you just know she's a star.
You can't help but look at her.
You
yeah.
know
Well,
that
for
she's a
anyone
star.
who doesn't know the story of the whole geez, this is the COVID. I got the brain fog. The
Brain fog.
Versailles,
The Queen of
the-
Versailles.
yeah, Jackie Siegel she's like a former beauty queen, right? Wasn't she like a Miss America or something like that?
She was not quite Miss America. She was a young
Miss
work-
Florida, right?
yeah, she's from Binghamton, New York, and she was sort of a young working class girl with big dreams, who really wanted to be rich and successful, but didn't quite know how to do that. So she went to engineering school, and got a job at IBM, a really good job. And then her boss said to her he was just counting down the days until he retired. And so she quit the job, moved to New York City, got a boob job, went to Wall Street,
Wait, got a boob job
Wait.
without anesthesia, right?
got a boob job without
What?
Yeah.
Sounds like my story.
and
Wait,
I
a boob
went-
stop? How do you? Wait, I'm stuck on that. How? Why?
We were all stuck on that. Chris.
yeah, she got a discount boob job.
The doctor told her how much it would cost, and she said, "Is there any expenses that can be cut?"
Oh my
And he
God.
said,
Yeah,
"Only
they shorted it
anesthesia
down.
as a joke." And she said, "Okay, let's do it."
But
I
she's
thought I was-
sorry, go ahead.
No, it's all right. You go.
Oh, I was just gonna say it's like a real American dream story. It's this girl who doesn't have very much and goes through different and unique and sometimes humorous ways of going about getting the American dream. But
There's
It's
nothing
accurate.
funnier than an operation without anesthesia. That's very funny.
exactly, yeah.
I
And
thought I was a
that's
badass
actually
when I was
in the show,
9.
right? That's actually a thing in the show.
When I was 9, I was deathly afraid of needles with the dentist. So he would do he would drill quick cavities, and I wouldn't take anesthesia. And I thought I was a badass. So, oh my
And
god,
the songs in the show are really funny and very poignant at the same time.
Well, but in the same vein, for people who don't know anything about it, so she met and married the real estate mogul.
Real estate mogul David Siegel, who is a billionaire from selling timeshares in Florida.
Right.
But he started in Florida, but his corporation Westgate sort of spans the USA at least.
Right.
So so his claim to fame is why this whole thing happened is he was building, I think it was 90,000 square foot house.
Yeah, they
in
go
Orlando?
once they sort of reach the level of success that they're billionaires and they want to build a house for their home together. They go on this trip to Paris and they go to Versailles and
Yeah.
they fall in love with the Palace of Versailles and decide that they want to build an exact replica of the Palace of Versailles, but in Orlando, Florida. And it's,
I saw
sort of-
I saw what they were building in the plans, and because it's in the thing,
Yeah.
in the documentary, and like Mar-a-Lago could have been like their guest house.
oh yeah.
I mean, like that's what we're talking about. I mean,
It's
we're
bigger
talking.
than the White. It's bigger than the White House. It's like 3 times three super WalMarts, I think.
Yeah,
What?
Yeah.
It's 90,000 square feet.
Her closet's like 5,000 square feet, right?
Multiple story closets.
Yeah.
Health spa. There's a full Benihana in the house.
Yeah, full Benihana.
Trademark
he loves
Benihana.
I love Benihana.
And so the main question here. So is say, do you manage to make these people likable?
Yeah,
they do.
They
People
very
cry
likable,
during yeah, they are likable.
Yeah, I think they are likable. There's a little bit of Jackie Siegel in all of us, whether we like to admit it or not. Yeah,
that's what I wanted to know. I want to know, do you bring their humanity out? Because, like I said, a lot of people aren't going to relate to that kind of wealth, and especially the way that it's spent in some of it. It's just like, when you got your average guy, scraping by now, especially. So that's I think what I want to see is, and I'm definitely looking forward to your project. I want to see the humanity, and I'm guessing it has to be there if you feel for them. So,
well,
I mean,
sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say that, and that I guess the construction is so big that Ron DeSantis thinks it's part of Disney, right? Is that what it is? No.
Yeah, exactly.
So give me an idea. At one point, he loses his money during the financial crash, and he was selling the unfinished house for 125 million.
Yeah.
Unfinished.
Unfinished.
That means without a Benihana.
Now, see, if I would have known that, I probably could have scraped up 120.
Yeah, exactly.
Mike and I could have won as partners.
Yeah.
There's a scene in the documentary where he's standing inside a quarry, like a room with slabs of marble, and he just casually looks into the camera and says, I wanted all the marble in the house to match, so I just bought the entire quarry in Italy.
Yeah.
Which you have to, you really do.
You really need to, yeah.
But yeah, and it's really funny too. There's some really, really funny parts. There's a song after she wins the beauty. Oh no, okay, you can't. I'm sorry, can't tell. All right, I can't tell it. Yeah, but it's.
You have to come and see it.
Yes, we need some
very, very funny.
The singing Jackie. I feel like we're watching. What was that? Something Got to Give, or what was the old Nicholson movie when she's writing a play about, and it winds up a play about the guy.
Yeah, I do know.
You know what's so crazy is, think about it. What if all of a sudden they did a play on your life, Mike, and they went, all right, so we're gonna have Brad Pitt play you. You're gonna be insulted. You know what I mean? It's like kind of the same thing. How could you get mad? Yeah. She's adorable and she's talented.
Very lovable.
No, of course not. I don't think I can get insulted at all. For me, just the fact that somebody would be interested enough in my life to want to do anything with it, I think my mother would reject that script right now. She'd be like,
I can't think of the actor's name. I can't think of the actor's name, but the guy who played oh man, I who's that guy? Oh man, Richard.
All right. So
no, it just went. Maybe I have the brain fog now too, Mike. We're getting foggy here. I think it's catching. Richard Jewell, the guy that the actor who played him in the movie would have to play.
So then once he says the guy's name, you still don't know who the hell it is.
Richard Jewell, the guy who
wasn't the guy. Didn't he play the bomber in that movie about the Olympics?
Yeah, they thought he was the bomber. Yes, Richard Jewell. But the actor, who was a really good actor, he'd have to play me. That was a long waste of time for nothing. Sorry, guys.
It's okay. We're used to it.
What the
We're gonna who's gonna play you. We're gonna have the oldest brother from the Brady Bunch. What the hell was his name again? Barry,
Craig.
Whatever the hell. Huh?
Barry Williams.
Barry Williams. Yeah, he's gonna play Craig.
Craig is the dean of useless knowledge and
Not
trivia.
Useless.
He knows every name of every person that no one ever heard of except for him.
You never heard of Barry? Well,
and the guy's mother.
John doesn't know Barry Williams.
So, Lindsey, when is the Queen of Versailles scheduled? You said to start in Boston. So, when is that? Did you say the date already?
I don't think we've announced the exact dates yet. It will be sometime next summer.
Cool. Incredibly cool. And now,
how many people are in the cast? It's a big production, right?
I think it's like 16.
Yeah.
16.
Oh, nice.
It's not actually all that huge for Broadway, but
and people are going to be flocking to Broadway because if the strike keeps on going on, there's going to be no new movies next year. So you might as well go see a show.
Good
well,
year.
You know what I I'm sorry. I know what I want to see. I really am so jealous because I've seen pictures and it's I think it's only been in Europe, but you wrote a play called Ugly Lies to the Bone. And I
Yeah.
know that they did that in a 3D theater and it just I
Yeah.
mean like it's hard to visualize, it's hard to conceptualize unless you actually so when I saw some video and I saw it, I was like, oh my God, this is like wow, it was unbelievable.
Yeah, the production you're talking about was in London at the National Theatre, and it was the set designed by this designer as Devlin, who does these really high concept, amazing theater sets.
It's funny. I was talking to Lindsay last night. We went out to dinner, and I said to her when I met the set designer, that's what she's a set designer, right?
Yeah.
And she's this really cool, like British woman. And I said to her, I go, I'm blown away. I've never seen anything like this in my life. This is like what theater's going to be. And she goes, just like so cool. She goes, well, I talked to Lindsay and she told me about the show. How else would you have done it? But not being not being cocky, just like really
Yeah.
sincere, you know.
That's so funny.
Yeah, you
That's
saw
the
the
beauty.
set pictures are amazing.
That's
Yeah,
the beauty
that
of the
was
artist. You know, the artists bring these everyone, you know, that's the collaboration and the idea of the idea, and then somebody brings like, you know, it takes a family, you know, it takes a team, it takes whatever, you know.
Well, in that particular show, right, for the set designer, they designed every building in Titusville, right?
Yeah, they did a 3D map
Of Titusville.
of the town.
And they had to install each building to put the projection on it for the right lighting and stuff. It was like you'd see cars going by, you saw the space shuttle take off. It was pretty amazing.
Now, is there any shot of seeing that in the United States?
There are productions of it happening, but I don't know right now where they're happening.
But it's how many productions have there been of that?
Like 50 or so productions.
And have they all been as elaborate as that?
No, they've ranged. When it was done in New York, it was in a very small 99-seat theater. When it was done in London, it was done in a 900-seat theater. All the product and everything in between.
And you saw it in Germany too, right?
Oh yeah, I just went and saw it in Germany, which was very, very cool. I saw that.
Awesome.
And everyone in the audience, right? They wore 3D glasses.
3D glasses, yeah.
That's one of the few things I'd go to Germany to see, you know, because
Yeah.
being a Jew, you know, they might not let me out, but
Yeah.
Oh, they'll let you out.
And then and then she's off to London today.
Today,
Today.
what are we going to London for?
There's a workshop of a new show that I'm doing called The Artist, which is based on a film that came out maybe about 10 years ago. Silent, black and white silent film, a new movie. John Goodman was in it. It's not an old movie. It's a new movie that was a black and white silent film.
Best picture.
Yes, exactly.
The one with the little dog.
The one with the little dog.
Okay.
And that French guy won Best Actor. I can't think of his name, but he was also in The Wolf of Wall Street.
Barry Williams.
Yes.
No, okay.
Yeah, it's that movie, and so we're adapting it for the stage. It's mostly told through dance, but also projections and some music and singing and tap dancing.
And no dialogue though, because it's a silent, right?
Yeah, there's a bit of spoken dialogue, a lot of projections, of like in a silent film, projected dialogue.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's a very
So
sort of unique concept.
So the story is told through dance. I'm trying to.
Yeah.
It's been
No,
a while
Mike is a
since I
good
saw that
dancer. If
film.
you're looking for something, Mike can really dance.
Oh,
He
good. Okay.
he can cut a
No,
rug.
I only know the lambada. Dance of love, baby.
Actually, the
No,
last time he cut a rug, he put a body in it. I'm sorry, Mike.
So it's I don't know how much. See, I know that you can't talk a lot about your projects when you're working on them. How much does it go along the same storyline as the movie, or is it?
It's the same storyline of the movie as an actor in the big star of the silent pictures getting sort of left behind as the world transitions to talkies.
Wow, that's such a great story. I mean, I don't know if like for me anyway, it's like I almost feel like, you know, today the way the business has changed in so many years with reality. I mean, when I started, there was hardly any reality TV. There weren't, you know, MTV was just starting. All these other networks weren't around. So it's such a different landscape now for an actor.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Than it was. And so that story is totally pertinent for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The way the world sort of changes and leaves people behind.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate your work. You do a good quality work. Today, it just seems like they want to throw just everything at the wall, see if it sticks, and I'm talking about, God, I don't know why, but a lot of the reality TV, I think, is just that, it's just, they'll throw 100 shows out because it doesn't cost them anything.
Totally.
And if one of them makes it, they'll make, how much money. And
yeah, absolutely.
I think it's interesting story, not to kick back to the Queen of Versailles, but like tell them how that all came about. I think that's really interesting.
What?
How you saw the documentary and the director asked you what was your fantasy, and you were like,
yeah, I'd always sort of had the idea to adapt it into a musical since I saw the documentary. I just thought there are these big, larger than life characters that felt like would sing, that could sing, and sort of had kept talking about it as this crazy idea in the back of my head, and met with Michael Arden, the director, who said, "What's the craziest idea you have for a musical?" And I mentioned Queen of Versailles. He was a big fan of the film, and so we started pursuing the rights, which took a very long time. It took many years.
Is it your first musical? Is it your first musical?
It's my first musical that's gotten to this stage. Yeah,
Great,
I've
that's
written
great.
a few different ones and not continued with it, but yeah.
Okay, cool.
very cool. Very cool. I mean, I like I said, I know that you were before the strike, and I don't know if you can talk about any of
Yeah,
them, but I
we
know
can't
that
talk
there's
about-
some really cool stuff, and I know you can't talk about because John's always going, Lindsey's working on this incredible thing. I can't tell you nothing about it, but
Listening to the film and TV stuff, I actually can't talk about.
Yeah.
The one thing that's been announced is my play that I wrote called Amy and the Orphans, which was done in New York. We're adapting it into a film that I'm directing, and Jamie Brewer and Eddie Barbanel, the two wonderful actors with Down syndrome who did the play.
We've had
in New
Eddie
York.
on the show.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
By the way, Mike plays an excellent orphan, just so you know.
You're really
orphan
trying to
work.
sell me something, Craig. I'm not going to kiss you, no matter what.
Yeah, they're both, the two actors are doing the movie, and the rest of the cast hasn't been announced yet. And Aggregate, Jason Bateman's company, is producing that.
I love Jason Bateman.
Yeah.
We all love Jason.
Everyone
Bateman.
loves Jason.
Funny.
Yeah, who doesn't? But he still owes me money. But I still love him.
Wow.
No, I'm just
Wow.
so incredibly cool, man. So what time would you were actually leaving today's? I mean,
Yeah, I should probably get my stuff together.
Yeah, this too. So.
Have a spot of tea for us, please.
I will. Thank you.
Lindsey, we love you, darling, and thank you so much for lowering
Thank
your
you.
standards and coming spending some time with us.
No, it's good fun. Thank you. Have a good rest of the show.
All right.
Bye, Lindsey.
Bye,
Thank
Dad.
you. Good seeing
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh,
All righty.
I just love your daughter. She's so sweet, John.
So proud dad.
I'm just thinking.
Yeah, no.
I'm just thinking of that line from Smokey and the Bandit. What Sheriff Buford T. Justice goes. I can't believe it. She came out of my loins. Thank you so much. I'm here all week.
She's
So,
she's just
that
so
was-
down to earth. She's so down to earth about everything. It's like,
Well,
you meet
think
so many people in show business. You go, hey, how you doing? And you got to hear their whole resume. You know what I mean? It's like, there's the person who has a lot to talk about, and she goes, oh, okay.
I believe that you have to be down to earth in order to function. It's
And
like
she's not even a name drop. I
if
would
you
be a
took
huge
too much
name drop.
time, if you took too much time to sit there and sit in the moment and go, think about what you're doing, it would freeze you. I think you just have to be down there and just go. It's like, this is just, I'm working with, the biggest stars in the world, but big time, just, it's, I've had that,
I mean, and the producer of this show is the producer that produced Moulin Rouge on Broadway.
yeah, no, I mean, she's
And
in
he's,
the big
this
friggin'
is like
leagues,
a
I mean.
major star show. I mean, it's huge. It is huge.
It's
And
totally the big
Steven
leagues.
Schwartz, the music is phenomenal. It's funny. It's really funny. And
When she first said that it was the Steven Schwartz, and I almost said, I was like, did he write Sigmund and Sherwood Schwartz?
You want Gilligan's Island?
Yeah, Gilligan's Island, just which would make a great musical.
It
he
really
wrote,
would.
he wrote the music to the magic show. And that was the big joke, because I had the CD of the magic show in my car for 10 years. I just loved all the songs on that.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize that it takes years to get a musical to Broadway, because you write it and then you workshop it, and then there's table reads, and then there's
I
concerts.
guess you've never seen The Producers.
Yeah, well, the thing is, it takes years. I mean, The Producers is a work of fiction, and no, it really does. It takes all, especially, you have to go.
Well, I know that Michael Arden, like she was saying, he had to negotiate the rights, and then they had to approve of like how much they could say and how much they couldn't say, and then he kept saying to them, it's not going to be, and so he got everything,
Well, these people,
So
they're my
funny
people,
that-
man. They're
It's
my
so
people.
funny that he approached Lindsay when she was in Yale.
If they have a Benihana in their house, they're my kind of people. They
And
really
the whole thing about the Benihana, there's I can't talk about particulars in the show.
No, but the thing is, dude,
There's the funniest scene in there about the director, the guy who's building the house. It's like, you want a what?
this is what let me ask you.
He goes, what is the first floor going to be, a sauna?
Well, let me ask you a
How much
question.
ventilation you need?
You may not know the answer to this, but I'm just curious. So you have a Benihana in your house, right?
Right.
It's in your house. Now, what if you don't feel like Benihana today? Do the people still come into work? Do they still prep the food, or do they just sit around and play on their Game Boys?
Can other people come to the Benihana?
Yeah, that's the question.
No. I think that they have a chef that's trained by Benihana, and if you don't want Benihana, they make something else.
Oh, so he'll be like a rotating chef. He might,
I would think. I don't know at all.
Because I'm guessing if they have a Benihana, they have to have a Jersey Mike's. So he probably goes, "Oh, yeah, you want a hero? There you go. All right,
got a fucking arrow right here for you, bastards. Come here, you.
I was
fucking
reading.
cocksucker.
I was reading a story that they were saying that when the house was first being built, they wanted like a little theater for the kids to do their shows, and they wanted an ice skating rink and a roller skating rink and a bowling alley. And now it took so long to build this house that the kids are no longer little kids that need a theater anymore, so that had to be changed. And they decided they want to.
As far as I watched in the documentary, they had abandoned the property. I haven't gotten to.
Oh no,
was it ever finished?
They had Thanksgiving there this year. They had a whole documentary about it on.
So the house is
made the
finished.
turkey.
The house is finished.
No,
or-
it's not finished. The house is not finished, and then everything that they finished got destroyed in the last hurricane.
Oh man.
So it's a jinxed property. It's not. There's something going on with that property with those people. I don't know, but
meanwhile, it's just so funny because Jackie just always goes, well, we got to go to the big house. Their other house is 45,000 square feet in Orlando.
which is why I'm saying it's hard to feel fucking anything for the.
And I
gotta
feel
go. We're going to the big house. It's like, okay, you got 140 kids. I understand that you need a big house. I mean, well, how many kids do they have? They have. Like
There's something very sweet about her. And you want to know something? The fact that she is an engineer, right? You get rid of that whole notion that she's just, some woman,
gold digger, whatever. No, I didn't have that feeling. I didn't really. It wasn't like I didn't get that Anna Nicole Smith vibe from her, like anything for money kind of a deal. But just strange characters, definitely worth knowing or exploring the characters of these people. But
I could see this being a real huge hit. I just really can.
I'm sure
I think it can be a real big hit because the writing in it is really good, but the power of the people behind the show.
Yeah.
I mean, the producer, the director just won a Tony. You got Kristen, who's like the Broadway darling, right? And the other person we can't talk about who's huge also, and plus everyone in the show. I mean, there's some people in this show, man, that are so funny.
Come on, I know who the other person is.
Funny. Don't say it.
The author.
The author.
They brought her back to life for a role and thing. Then come on, John. No.
That'll get you for that, Walter.
Okay, well, anyway, let's get back to our show.
Well, you know what? I wanted to just bring up a minute quick of. I mean, did you guys hear about that in Maui in Lahaina?
Yeah,
was burned to the ground. I've been to Maui twice, and both times I've been to Lahaina and to that banyan tree, and it's such a devastating. I mean,
people were diving into the water to avoid the flames.
it's
No.
heart it's heart-wrenching because it's like people, and I don't want to compare it to 9/11, but like people who'd never been to New York and hadn't seen the Twin Towers, and so it's easy to feel, wow, man, it's terrible, it's horrible. But being New Yorkers, we all know what was lost that day. It was just an
Yeah,
overwhelming,
and
incredible.
I have two friends that live in Hawaii, and I called them yesterday to find out if they're okay. And they were saying that one strip that you're talking about, there was like families that had like 9 generations of
Yeah,
businesses there that are
yeah.
just gone. You know what I mean?
There was I mean, there was a right where the banyan tree is. There was this building, and I guess it was a sort of a government, some kind of government building or library or something. And the original flag of King Kamehameha was upstairs in the patio. I couldn't get up the stairs at day of my whatever. But anyway, so I mean, it's like I wonder if they saved that. But it's just that banyan tree was so huge and it was beautiful, and you'd sit under it. It was just an incredible
also in a
place.
million songs, right, about Hawaii, about
And the whole Front Street, Paradise Cheeseburger in Paradise was there. Forest Gum, we ate at Bubba Gum. It's like, anyway, I just wanted to bring that up.
Thank God climate change is bullshit. That's all I
Yeah,
can say.
exactly.
Well, like I said, I'm not sure what happened here. I know this was a fire, so I don't know.
No, I know what happened. I'll tell you exactly what happened because I read.
I read.
What happened was what happened is because of the
what
climate
did you just
change.
say about us, Greg?
I know.
Because of the climate change, Hawaii is in a huge high pressure area, which means there's no wind or anything.
And low humidity.
The only reason why I know this, and you'll know why in a second, Hurricane Dora.
Okay, there you go.
It's 200 miles offshore. That's my dog's name.
Yeah.
That's why I read it. I went, Hurricane Dora.
It's offshore where? Offshore Florida or?
Is off Hawaii.
Wow.
And it's going by the island. And it's because it's a low pressure, it's sucking the wind towards the hurricane, which is creating 87-mile-an-hour winds. And there was a wildfire with 87-mile-an-hour winds.
It spread like crazy. Yeah.
It spread like crazy.
Yeah,
So is this hurricane passed, or are they going to get hit on top of these fires?
No, it's not even going to hit the islands, but they were saying that 87-mile-an-hour winds is a Category 1 hurricane itself.
Yeah, without doubt. Have you ever been
There was a Hurricane Dora
in Florida,
Long
John. Have
Island
you
in
been
the
in
70s.
hurricanes?
Sorry.
Yeah, one year we had 4 hurricanes back to back, and it was just crazy. Like I live on an island, so they told us we had to evacuate. So we evacuated to Orlando. We got into the hotel in Orlando. It was Lindsay's 16th birthday. I remember it vividly. We got into the hotel in Orlando, and they said, all right, you're going to be safe here. And then about 3 hours later, they said, the hurricane has changed course. You need to evacuate this hotel. So they sent us to Tampa. We went to Tampa, and then they told us to change course again. So we had to go back to Orlando. And then this happened like twice in a row. On the third one, I was like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying home.
Yeah.
And we had 120-mile-an-hour winds. And when that hurricane went over the house, and I was in a new house, so I mean, I was, I had a new roof. And,
unsure of what the hell it would.
No, but I mean, the house is built to hurricane standards
Right.
if it's a new house. And when that hurricane was on top of the roof, all I could tell you is it sounded like a locomotive.
Yeah.
Parked on top of your house. And I went outside and I have a wind meter for my sailboat, and I put it on a pole, and
I don't know. Ring the bell, John. Ring the bell.
I stuck it up in the air, and it started spinning so fast it just melted.
Jesus.
Because it's like I guess on a plastic axle.
Craig, have you ever been in anything like that?
It may have been what?
Have you ever been in anything like that? Have you ever been in any kind of something so over? Because it's like, again, it's hard to imagine unless you've been in. I've been in a Category 1, and it's just like it's all around you. There's no escape. It's this all encompassing fucking, that, like you said, John said, that sound of a train. It's like, it's so awesome.
You're just sitting there going, please let the roof stay on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that scary.
It's so awesome, and it's so overpowering of every sense that you have. Have you ever experienced anything like
In the
that?
80s, there was a hurricane that hit Long Island. I don't remember the name of it. I know in the 70s there was one called Dora, but that was an East Coast hurricane. I remember I was in my apartments, in my garden apartments in Levittown, and a hurricane came through. And right before the eye hit, the wind and that sound got so freaking loud. We thought that the roofs were beveled. They could fly off. They're like wings, but they didn't. But it was, yeah, I know that. I've heard that sound before. It's
I
terrible.
was on a cruise ship during a hurricane, a Cat 3.
Wow. That would, I would just, that.
Well, let me tell you what happened. I was on the SS Norway, which is the flagship of Norwegian Cruise Lines in the day. It drew 37 feet of water. Most cruise ships draw about 12. So it was a real ocean liner. It was
And when John says draw water, for people don't know, that means how deep it sits in the water.
Yes.
Right?
And the ship was originally designed to go from England to New York, across the
Right.
Atlantic. So it had 2-inch thick steel plates on it.
Yeah.
So the hurricane's coming. Everyone's knowing all.
Here to take you right to the bottom.
And all the captains are talking, and we get on board. And the captain, and I had to get on board because I was working. The captain goes, "This is your captain speaking, the Captain Chilhagen," and he's a great, great captain.
Hey,
And
do
he
his
goes,
accent again.
He goes, I talked to the other captains, and they decided that one is going to stay here at the dock. I feel that is a grave mistake. He will suffer immeasurable damage. The other one says he is going to go south and then come back north, which I feel is also a grave mistake. He goes, because I have a feeling he will hit with the hurricane twice. I think that we should go out and go through the eye of the hurricane. You are on the Norway, the greatest sailing vessel ever built.
It sounds a lot like the Perfect Storm. You know that.
Yeah, and he goes like this.
That's what the captain of Titanic said too.
Yeah,
Not the greatest.
exactly. That's what everyone was saying. And he says, we will be in really bad weather for the next 38 hours. And then after that, I promised you smooth sailing. And we went out, and I woke up in the morning, and they were putting ropes down the hallway, like big ropes to hold on to his handles, because the ship was sailing at a 30-degree angle because we were getting hit with 120-mile-an-hour winds.
Jeez.
And then the swell came up to 80 feet. And we're walking along, and on this particular ship, the lifeboats were on the international deck, which was about 8 or 10 decks up, and the waves were cresting past it, going by.
Let me just ask you a question, okay? Because I think I know how this story ends. So when you're in the water, was there enough room for you and Rose on the door? I'm just curious. Did she bring one? They must have.
Wait. So all of a sudden, the captain comes on and goes, "This is the captain speaking. We will be going into the eye of the hurricane. And once we're in the eye of the hurricane, we will sail with the hurricane as long as we can in the eye. It will have smoother weather. If you look out the windows, you will see a phenomena." And we got in the middle of the eye, and all of a sudden it got calm because everything is swirling around,
Right.
We're traveling in the eye for a couple of hours, and you could look outside and way as far as you could see, you just see this horrible turning weather and white caps and stuff. And all of a sudden he goes,
"Did you see the Wicked Witch on a bicycle and all that shit?"
there he goes. The hurricane is now veering to the left. We are going to the right. We will have about 4 hours of bad weather, and then we will have smooth sailing. And we went right through the thing. And then people walking around with life jackets on. And I'm thinking to myself, you can't even get in a lifeboat if you
I'm picturing the ship, like you said, listing at what, like 80, whatever, to 30%.
Yeah, like 30.
Drunk guys walking by straight and going, "What are you guys over?" Like,
so who cleaned up all the vomit? Because there had to be a ton of it.
Came on and said that we are now through the hurricane. I am opening all the bars. Let's great. All drinks are on me.
Oh, that's so.
All right, I would go through a hurricane just for that.
People. It was funny, because I did it in my actor day. People walking up and high-fiving each other going, "We did it." And I go, "What did you do?"
Yeah, no, I was there with the captain, man. We were sailing. I was like, "Hey, 5 degrees starboard, captain." We did it. Come on.
I had so much fun because I knew this captain, right? And everyone used to want their picture taken with him. And that was my big joke. I go, everyone wants their picture taken with the captain. Gotta get your picture taken with the captain. I go, why? When you go on a Greyhound bus, you get your picture taken with the driver.
Does anyone ask to take their picture with you when you do the Uber, Craig?
I go, yeah. Actually, they do take pictures of me because women will take
Yeah.
pictures. I hear the camera going off
I'm sure because they're
they-
sending it
just
saying
in
if
case
I
I do
disappear.
something.
Yeah. In case
And-
I disappear, this was my driver.
Exactly. And it's like, fuck, really?
Yeah, and it's really funny. I was once on the cruise with my ex-wife, and I was in the dining room, and we were in this French restaurant, which is like an extra restaurant. And all of a sudden, the waiter came over and brought me a bottle of Dom Perignon, and he goes, "Here you go." And he goes, "There's a card on it." And I open up the card, and he goes, "Have a great sail, you and your wife. With best regards, the bus driver."
No, that's funny.
The
So
bus
on
driver.
a story related to
Oh, that's
Benihana,
funny.
I came across something today that I thought was really interesting. And I have a cooking show on a rival network. It's not rival. I'm just saying that.
It's a rival network. They're standing outside with spears and shit. And swords,
And
fucking shields
I
swords.
do emphasize healthy cooking, but this story really caught my eye. It comes from Lebanon, Pennsylvania. And
Lebanon,
it was
Pennsylvania.
on Tuesday. They created the longest bologna sandwich in history.
Right. And
It's
that's going
150 feet long.
Where was it made? At the Lebanon prison?
No,
Bologna
no, it was
sandwiches?
Lebanon. It was 100. They got sponsored at $1,000 a foot. But what I was thinking of, like, okay, so if you remember when Subway had the $5 footlongs,
Yeah.
so I'm thinking if that was a Subway sandwich, it would cost over $900.
What I want to know is, and thank you. That's very funny. Very, very funny. I'm laughing on the inside.
Not really. Your brain fog
totally,
is.
I'm totally John. See, John's not talking because what people can't see is that he's breathless. He's laughing so hard.
I'm waiting for you to shut up.
No, but I got a point. What I want to know is, you remember when before Jared started raping kids,
Oh, he never.
he was found guilty. He's in prison. He's a pedo. He's a rapist.
He's a pedo, but I don't know if he raped kids. Did he? That would be horrible. I thought he just like had
Well,
pictures.
whatever the story is, all I know is that they used to be able to get subs for $5, $5 footlongs. How much is a friggin' Subway sandwich now?
$12.99
How much? $12.99. Well,
for a foot long.
why do I have to fucking pay because Subway hired a friggin' pedophile?
Meanwhile, Subway is absolutely the worst hero in the history of the world. It is
Yeah,
just
they're
absolute.
convenient.
I gotta
They're
tell you,
convenient.
I had their Philly cheesesteak. Really good.
Really. I mean,
You know-
I'm talking about like if you go for a roast beef sub or whatever.
Well,
they
because
started
they don't
making
use
money-
they don't use like boar's head. They should.
They started making money like what Craig's talking about, because Jared lost 200 pounds and he said he ate nothing but Subway. And so you want to talk about an attraction to the American people, you tell them fucking you can lose weight, and Subway took off. Subway was the biggest
Do you
thing
know
in
what
the world.
he ate? He ate a 6-inch sub, a Diet Coke, and a small bag of
And a
Lay's
6-year-old.
twice a day. And a 6-year-old. And a 6-year-old. That's what I had, twice a day. That's all he ate. That's not a lot of food.
No, that's not a lot of food at all. And it was all a bullshit, whatever. I mean,
No,
just
I think he
whatever.
lost the weight, but damn.
Well, Publix has the best heroes ever in Florida.
Who?
Publix.
Public.
Cubics?
Yeah. Well, we have, like, say, you got Publix, we got Vons, we got Ralph's, and Ralph's uses Boar's Head. So, I mean, you can get a pretty good.
We have Gelson's too.
Meanwhile, wait a second. Listen to this. I read in the paper that, speaking of Publix, the Publix in Jacksonville sold the winning lottery ticket. One winner.
Yes, $1.5 billion. John, your audio is going out, John. I did not hear that, what you just said.
It said the Publix in Jacksonville sold one winning ticket to the Mega Bowl, $1.62 billion. One winner.
Yeah, you know that all the freaking relatives of that person are all coming out of the woodwork.
In Florida, right?
Yeah, that is amazing.
I don't know, man.
Well, it's only like 700 million after taxes. I mean, come on. I mean, what are you going to do with 700 million? About 1.5 billion.
You know what? I would not be surprised if they donate to the Ron DeSantis presidential campaign. That's how stupid.
Not necessarily. This ticket was bought in Neptune Beach, which is like a resort kind of right. It's a nice area. It could have been totally bought by a tourist. Maybe it was purchased in Florida, but who knows?
Mike, you were just recently down in Florida. Do you have anything you want to tell us?
Yeah, it's fucking hot and humid, and it's and also, like you say, COVID is on. We mentioned at the beginning of the show, it's not a joke. This is like day 7 6 or 7 of me on COVID. And there's all over the country, there's a big rise, but Florida's over here in California, it's only 10% rise. Florida's it's over 20% rise in COVID cases and hospitalizations. I would take extra precaution if I were you, John.
You know, they told me that I'm a unicorn.
John, your audio is out.
Really?
Yeah. When
Well, now
you,
it's
do you have
back.
it on
It's-
Vox?
It's hitting and missing, man.
Because we talk, you just see your mouth moving, nothing comes out.
I don't know. That's the thing I'm working on.
Now you're working. Well, what was I saying? I was saying something, but I guess it doesn't matter now.
Oh, it says microphone has changed to.
The microphone has changed. Ladies and gentlemen, we are
It's
observing
changed.
John to fix his microphone.
Right now, I'm on the.
Right now, he's on the.
He's on the third putting green.
You know what it's doing?
Let's
It's
watch.
switching for some reason between the. It just came up. It was switching between the blue snowball and the Mac mic.
I believe it was switching towards the blue snowball.
The snowball actually is the better microphone for him. We're gonna wait as he comes up to the green. He's ready to putt.
He's stepping up to the mic. Well, let's watch.
Okay, so I have a couple of stories.
Go ahead, let's hear.
I have a few stories. I have 3 little bear stories,
He has a 3 little bear story.
all unrelated.
Come on, let's hear him.
There was a flight in Iraq with a regular tourist plane.
Is that near Lebanon, Pennsylvania? Is it Iraq, Pennsylvania?
And the people were on the plane getting ready to take off, and the pilot came on and went, "Oh, this is your pet," but not in English. This is.
So why are you doing an accent then?
This is the pilot.
Did you
This
bite
is the
in?
pilot. This is the
bus
pilot
driver.
speaking. I just want to say that we have a slight delay. The bear got out of his cage and is wandering around
The bear.
the freight hold underneath you.
And there's a bear loose underneath.
There's a bear loose.
They're like the cables and shit, and the landing gear and all that shit is right.
And they had to get zoologists to come on the plane with a tranquilizer gun and shoot the bear and get it back in the cage, and then they could take off.
If you thought
this was
cocaine
before they
bear
took
was
off.
fun,
Oh, I thought this was in midair. I'm going, holy shit! This is
This is on the
scary.
road.
so John, can you do that pilot again?
I want you to do a
let's
great
see-
Iraqi accent.
Let's see the pilot.
This is
Go
your pilot speaking.
So he's a French Iraqi
The
pilot.
French Iraqi. When I have a
Iraqi.
bear, I have a bear.
We have a bear, ladies and gentlemen, a bear.
And then wait, there's another unrelated bear story about
Okay.
Rocky the bandit bear.
Rocky the
Broke
bandit.
into 37 houses in Colorado and ate everything in their refrigerators when they came home. He broke
you know,
through the
I
door.
like Rocky.
He broke through their door and ate all of their food in the refrigerator
I-
and in the cabinets.
I used to do that when I was drunk.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
And
when
you were
if
a bear.
Well, see, and
Still am.
you know, well, Craig knows more about a different kind of bear. But anyway,
yes.
the bear.
The culmination of Rocky's little crazy
They didn't
tour
kill
was
him. They didn't kill
no,
him.
he went to a wedding and
What?
forced all of the people in the wedding to stand outside in the rain while he ate everything off the dessert table.
Man, that really does sound like me, John. It really does.
And the people were going, well, yeah, it was a drag standing in
No,
the
no,
rain.
they had French accents. No. There was
It was the drag sitting in the rain.
They'll never
However,
forget that
No,
wedding.
but they were going, it was a drag standing in the rain, but where else do you see a bear eating all dessert at a wedding?
Yellowstone Park, Jellystone Park. Sorry.
Well, that's
Hey,
the problem.
boo-boo.
See, people feed bears, and the problem is a bear learns. Once he knows that he can get food somewhere, he will always go back. If you feed a bear, or if he finds your garbage in and eat, they will always come back because to them it's ingrained in their head. I can get food there, and they go back.
That's why
So
you
they
see all
call-
those Florida bears in that Benihana. That's why.
At the Seagull's house.
Yeah.
It's a recall. And so anyway, they caught Rocky and returned him to the Colorado
Did he
Zoo.
have to pay for all the
See,
stuff? he
Rocky's
ate?
a squirrel, isn't he? Rocky was a squirrel.
No, he was a raccoon.
Rocky the bear.
That's
bandit.
Rocket Cat.
Sounds
That's
tough.
Rocket Raccoon.
Man,
Rocky the squirrel.
Speaking about animals, I was thinking of you yesterday, Mike, when we were in the ocean in Florida.
Yeah.
A woman got attacked by a shark in Rockaway Beach.
A bear shark.
They think it may have been a great white.
Oh,
Wow.
shit.
20 pounds of flesh from her leg.
Oh my God! In one bite, that's
One
probably
bite.
not even a lot for a.
One bite.
And she
How
said
big
it
was
was
the
even
shark?
cheaper than liposuction. No, I'm just kidding.
Can you imagine? I mean, let's start with the fact that she had 20 pounds of meat on her leg.
Oh, geez.
What's it?
That's a big thigh.
You you gotta go get some cheese for that sandwich.
Wow. Oh, good. Oh,
Wait, now wait.
60
So they
60
think it was a
years
great
old.
light.
60 years old, and she was standing in the trough.
Oh,
wait. She was
man.
60.
60 years
trough.
old.
You know that shark got a mouthful of cellulite, and he's like, what was that?
No, but it was. They said she was standing in the trough.
See, no,
Is
and
that
you know
where you
what?
guys are standing?
Yeah, no, we were standing next to the truck. See, John would tell. He told me, he goes, "You're perfectly safe, Mike. You see, right here it is."
Well,
a
he was
trough."
standing close to shore, and I said to you, "You need to come out a little bit further, right?"
Yes, John. I wasn't going past my maybe half calf, And John's like, "Come on, stop being a pussy. Come on." And so he goes, and so I get out where he is, and he starts explaining to me there's this trough, and that but generally the sharks won't come past the trough because there's deeper water, and whatever the reason. What'd you tell me? I forget. The
Bait
temperature
fish go in
change.
the trough. The bait
Yeah.
fish swim in the trough.
Right. So, and I believed him, and I stood over there. And then afterwards, when everything was cool, and a couple hours later, and he goes, that's all bullshit, right? I'm like, no, I'm like,
No,
no.
I never said that.
Well,
That's true.
it's because of instinct. The sharks know if they go past that, they could possibly ground themselves and they would die. So that's
No, you go out further.
No, I know they won't go past the trough because that means they're getting closer to shore and they can get grounded.
Now, this woman who got bit, John, did they say how big the shark was? I mean,
They
like,
don't know. They have drones out, but she's the 5th shark attack in New York this summer.
It was New York.
Yeah,
thought it was
Long Island,
Florida.
Rockaway Beach.
Yeah.
What?
Rockaway Beach.
I
And
used
they-
to
they
go,
think it was-
I have friends that live on Rockaway.
I used to
wasn't
go
it-
out on Jones Beach and Rockaway Beach. I used to go out to my neck. I used
Yeah.
to.
And they're saying that they think that just by the teeth pattern, that they think this is a young great white shark, which they've never had before on Long Island.
They also
Right.
could tell from the teeth pattern that he flossed regularly. So
Yes. Yeah. I got my, I don't know, you can't, obviously people can't, but I wear a megalodon
A
tooth
megalodon.
around my neck. That's from a megalodon. Yeah, this thing's like,
Yeah,
it's
I
only
just
millions
read
years old.
another article, speaking of fossils, that they found in Peru the biggest whale, a prehistoric whale, 37,000 years old. Each vertebrae on the whale was 220 pounds.
Wow.
jeez.
And they don't think it was as long as a blue whale. They think it was only about 60 feet long, but it
Right.
weighed 375 tons.
Because the blue
The
whale is the
ribcage-
largest creature that ever lived on the planet, including
Yeah.
the dinosaurs and everything. According to science,
Yeah.
there's nothing that ever lived bigger than the blue
But they
whale.
were saying that-
375 tons, and he
Yeah.
lives underwater, so you know he has no carbs. That's impressive.
And
There you go.
it had 15-foot ribs.
Ooh,
Wow.
that sounds delicious.
Yeah.
Hey, you know how much sauce that takes to get
Can I get that in an air fryer?
Have you
Wait, hold
guys
on.
have you guys ever gone to the Museum of Natural History?
Yes,
yeah, the
it's
whale?
my favorite place in the
Whale?
freaking
When I
world.
walk on, I know it's made out of fiberglass or something, but when
Yeah.
I first went there in I think in second grade, I collapsed on the floor and started crying. I was terrified of it. I
Well,
thought
Yeah,
last time, the
all on
last
me.
time I was there was a couple of years ago with my grandson, and he was only, I think he was about 8 or so, or 6 or 8 at the time. And what we did was we laid, the people sit down or lay down underneath the whale, and so that's what we did. I laid under the whale with my grandson, and we just stared up at it was just
No.
a beautiful moment.
I can't.
Well,
do
they
it.
closed down, the Republicans closed down the caveman section.
Yeah, because I mean they
What?
kept
Yeah, 'cause they
posing it
all
like
looked-
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Marjorie Taylor Greene felt that they looked
Oh.
too similar to her.
Yeah, her family
That-
sued because they said there was like a really defamation of their humanity.
So
the
John,
cavemen were protesting. They didn't want to be.
John always says that I'm the purveyor of useless knowledge. Here's one for you. Do you know the only Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade balloon that appeared at the Museum of Natural History?
That appeared at the Museum of Natural
Yeah,
History.
it was actually. I was actually on display. It was filled with cold air, but it wasn't helium. But it was
Frankie the condom. No, I don't know.
it was the condom balloon, but the reservoir tip was flat. That day.
Yeah.
No, it was it was Dino the dinosaur, who was actually
Oh yeah, from Sunoco, right?
Gas
actually
station.
no from
Sinclair.
Sinclair, yeah.
Sinclair gas,
And
yeah.
they put him in there because he was actual size of a brontosaurus. That's why they put him in there.
Oh.
Which, believe it or not, there is still Sinclair gas. There's a not maybe a mile from my
All
house or
over here.
a mile or two.
Really?
There's a Sinclair gas.
And Dino's there. They actually have
I haven't
little
seen
like
that in
classic
years.
Dinos outside of them.
Do you guys
Yep.
remember in the 70s, put a tiger in your tank?
Yes,
Yep.
I remember the saying. Yeah, put a
Esso.
tiger.
Esso.
Oh, that's so, right?
Who you calling Ethel, man?
Esso.
Yo, Ethel.
Yo, Holmes. I was telling them the gang signs earlier. Yo, Holmes.
That's so crazy,
Well,
man.
I mean, we've avoided this huge. The biggest story that I think is in the news is the Alabama boat fight. Did you guys see that?
Oh, yeah.
These fucking morons, they're like fucking privileged pieces of shit, and they park their boat in a space where this big paddle boat with tourists or cruisers, whatever. So the guy is asking them to move their boat, and they're ignoring him. They're
Not
flipping
only
them
did he
off.
ask him, Mike, to move his boat, he asked him for 45 minutes to move
Yeah.
his boat.
So
Yeah.
I only saw a clip of this on TikTok. That was the black guy who got attacked by all the
Yes.
white people.
Yeah.
Yes, and so then the black guy who was the captain's mate, first mate or whatever he was, but he was worked for the boat. He's standing there and he's like telling him, "Come on, you got to move that." And then the cold one guy jumps out and just hits him, and then 5-6 other white
They
guys
ganged
start
up on the
jumping on this,
fucking guy.
ganged up on him. And what they weren't expecting is that freaking there was all these black people around, and fucking
They
thank
started
God
hitting him with
they
chairs and stuff,
and
right?
oh man, first one guy jumped in the water from the boat, started swimming. It
saw
was
that.
glorious. It was fucking the only thing to say is glorious because I
They
mean, like
deserve that. People
this
deserve
man
it.
I just
probably
wish
would
it
have
had-
been dead. They probably would have killed him if the crowd didn't jump in.
Yeah,
I'm
they
so
were
fucking-
kicking him. Man, I saw that. Man, they were really effing him up.
Fucking proud to say that I'm an American because that's the American way. You see the underdog and fucking people are messing with him, and you jump in and you do something.
It's true. He was being ganged up on, man. That's total horseshit. But I wish it hadn't happened at all. I wish the guys
No.
went, "Oh yeah, we'll move, no problem." That's the way it should fucking be.
Yeah, but unfortunately, there's a lot of shitheads out there that are just pieces of shit, and they think they can do whatever they want, and they
Okay,
don't have to obey any rules.
I have one thing that is a little political, but I got to get it off my chest.
Oh no. Oh.
No, this is okay.
Go,
Okay,
go,
so
go.
the women's soccer team, the only professional football, soccer team to make the World Cup 4 times, to win 2 times consecutively. When they won the last time, the captain of the team refused to go to the White House
Right.
because
That
she
must have
said,
been when
Because of who was in it,
yes,
Humpty
she
Dumpty.
refused to go to the White House.
I have no problem.
So this year during the World Cup, they all took a knee and she said for the injustice of what's going on with the last guy.
Good.
You know what I mean? And they lost. They got knocked out in the first round.
Right.
And Trump went off on social media. Good. I'm glad the women's team lost because they're too woke. I'm so glad. And the captain missed could have been the tying penalty. I am so glad that she missed that shot. That's the problem with this women's soccer team. They're Biden's team. And he just
It's
went
just amazing.
off.
See, this is a jerk off. And I don't know why anyone pays attention.
It's just
because he's got his moron supporters. First of all, this is the
First
team
of all,
that represents America.
This is a team, right? Representing
And
America.
because they
on the world
personally
stage.
slighted this little
Clown.
tiny dick fucking douchebag, he's gonna fucking say this shit.
I'm glad I tried to keep. I'm so glad I tried to keep
Fuck him. You know why he is like he is? Because when he was a kid, he had such a small dick. His mother used to point at and go, ha 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 ha. There's something so fucking wrong with this guy, and fuck him.
I want to thank personally, and this is absolutely 100% honest. I want to thank Mitch McConnell for making what's happening today a possibility. Because back in 2015,
Yeah, if he didn't oppose Obama on every single thing.
No, back in 2015 when he blocked the election of
Garland.
Yeah, he opened the door for Garland to be who he is today and throw the book at Donald Trump. So thank you, Mitch, for being a dickhead and leading us in this direction.
Well, and he also opened the book to all of these, the obscene, these justices that Trump appointed who shockingly are only half as bad as I thought they were going to be. But still,
did you see the judges he wanted to do, dude? Judge Reinhold, Judge Wapner,
Judge Reinhold,
Aaron Judge. He didn't know what.
I'm still grateful for him appointing these idiots. Because, you know what though? That's it. But see, nothing changes if nothing changes. So I think that you had to. I'm glad that he appointed these judges and did all of this stuff, because people are so angry that it's first time since the 60s that there's some kind of social conscience. There's an uprising. This is going to come back so hard and fucking bite these people in the ass.
There's a motion in Ohio they're voting on that basically would take away their rights.
It's done. They won in Ohio. Ohio won.
98% of the college students, Gen Z, voted against it, which is friggin' great.
I read an article that unless the Republicans change their ways, there will not be a Republican Party in 10 years, because young people don't want to.
No, they won't be. It'll be something else. It'll become something else.
Yeah.
I
guarantee. I shouldn't guarantee.
I'm sorry. Out of all the despicable things this asshole has done, I don't know. I just think that this whole thing with this soccer team is just so wrong.
Well, because it's so personal.
He's done a lot worse stuff, John.
No, I know he's done a lot worse, but this is just like, how hard these kids work.
But you know why it bothers
you? Do you think they care? Do you think
because this symbolizes the smallness of the man. Right. This is a personal thing for him. It has nothing to do with I'm holding on to power. This
is singled her out personally.
But he's a man who French kisses his daughter. Who cares?
They don't deserve to win. It's too woke. The whole team has become too woke.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of that fucking word woke.
I know, really. I'm socially conscious. I care about the poor.
Today, woke means I care about people. I want justice, fairness, and equality for all. Yeah. I want to be woke.
I believe in that part of woke, but I'm getting sick of the other side. The left has abused wokeness,
not the whole left, just segments of it, just like segments of the right have
like segments of the right, or for
right, exactly. Not all conservatives are bad fucking people. I know many that are just incredibly good people, great.
And not all people on the left are sane either. That's all I'm going to say.
No, well, we all know that. Listen, there's nut jobs on all sides.
I know many of them.
I was telling Mike that somebody posted a picture of Jesus standing behind Trump with his hands on his shoulders, and I wrote, shortly before he wrapped him around his neck.
Somebody posted a picture of Jesus. And on TikTok, I don't know how long ago it was. He goes, "Let's all praise Jesus," and it was a picture of Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi. I thought that was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
So anyway, I hope you enjoyed yourself here on the Big Bad Broadcast. We're here every Friday. It goes live 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and then you can see it all week long anytime you want, any place your podcast you get them. You can see it on the podcast playground, Apple Podcast. We're everywhere.
Everywhere you buy.
Thanks again to Lindsey Ferrentino for dropping in.
Thank you, Lindsey, for coming in. And we have guests coming up too. Great guests. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we do. We have some really good guests.
Wendy Liebman is coming
up. Can't wait. Love Wendy.
Larry Ambrose.
He's fantastic.
There's a rumor he may bring a guest.
Don't say no.
I'm not saying nothing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, right, guys. See you next week. Same time, same bat channel.
All righty.
All right, man. Peace.